Welcome to the Nurse Shark Academy Show, a Baxter Professional Services production.
Welcome to the Nurse Shark Academy Show. I'm Tina Baxter, your host. We are experts in nursing and experts in business. Today, on today's show, Season 1, Episode 6, we have Traceyna Miller, who is a registered nurse with a master's degree in education and the owner of Passionate Healthcare Training Academy. Welcome, Traceyna, to the show.
And welcome to the Nurse Shark Academy Show. This is Tina Baxter, and I'm your hostess. And I want to say thank you for tuning in today. We have Traceyna Miller here, and she happens to be a nurse extraordinaire. She has launched her own business as a CPR instructor, and she's added a lactation specialist on there as well. She's got a bunch of things to talk about today. She's one of our fellow sharks, and I'm glad to have you. Welcome. Traceyna, you want to go ahead and introduce yourself to our audience?
Sure. Thank you, Miss Tina. My name is Traceyna Miller. I've been a registered nurse for it now to be 12 years this year. I can't believe it. I've been a nurse educator since I graduated with my master's in 2016. I launched my business in 2020. And since then, Miss Tina has been a blessing, an excellent mentor, preceptor, and I thank you for that. So I've been blessed to be able to do a lot within these 12 years.
Great. Now, the first question that I always ask, and I want to thank you for the compliment, but the first question that I always ask is, why did you become a nurse?
It's so funny how I actually became a nurse. In all honesty, it's not like when I grew up, I was like, oh my goodness, I'm going to be a nurse. So originally I wanted to go into optometry. I'm not sure why, but it was just always like interested in it. So I graduated in 01 from Anderson High School. I came down here to IUPUI and I actually had enrolled as a pre-optometry student, but one of the counselors, an African-American counselor, put me to the side and she was like, well, just in case, you need to have a backup. And me being young, I'm like, okay. So she just stuck me in biology. So I ended up, So I ended up getting a biology degree in December of 2000 I graduated, 2005 or 6 or something like that. So after that, I had gotten married and I worked as a secretary. And I tried to get into optometry school. I applied at IU's, Tennessee State. And I didn't get in. I tried like 3 or 4 times and God said no. So I thought, oh my goodness. I was like, well, I guess I'll just stay here as a secretary, I never even used my biology degree. And my manager at the time, he came to me, he was like, you have so much potential. There's something you're not going to sit here the rest of your life. And I thought, well, I mean, why not? So I prayed about it and I was like, you know what? I was like, I'm going to go to nursing school. So at the time, Harrison College was open. It was between Harrison and University of Indianapolis. And I asked for God to show me which way to go. And I got in with flying colors at U of I for the accelerated nursing program. So I graduated from there for my BSN in 2011. And at the time you could go on for your master's. So I was taking master's classes at the same time. Well, after I got my BSN, I quit the program and got that. And then that's how I ended up. But I always kind of had a passion when I was in nursing school to teach. I knew that I wanted to reach back then and help us. So that's how I ended up getting my master's. So that's how I became a nurse.
Well, that's a lot to unpack. So for, one door closes, another one opens.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, if you still want to go to optometry school, I bet they take you now.
I'm okay with that. And then I was like, I never just realized that the path that God was actually leading me on at the time. Like, I've been so blessed to have so many opportunities as a nurse that I don't think that I would have had those opportunities as an optometrist. I mean, I'm not, who knows? I don't know. Maybe God has shown me what could have been, what couldn't have been. But for now, I've been blessed to be able to do this.
Well, that's great. Now, what was your first job out of nursing school?
My first job out of nursing school, I hated it. I worked med surg and it was awful, GI med surg, and I thought to myself, oh my goodness, what did I get myself into? So but like I said, when I was in nursing school, and I always had a passion for community nursing too. And I only had one daughter at the time, and I applied to be a school nurse, and I got the job, and I was out there. So I honed in on the yeah. But, blessings to those who are able to do floor nursing. That's the beauty of nursing. You can do so much, someone has to do it. So,
yeah. I did that as a nurse tech on med surg. And when I got out of school myself, I was offered a job in med surg, but the job I really wanted in psychiatry. Finally, the job in psychiatry, I was waiting, I got the med surg offer first. And I went back to them and I said, now, if you really want me to work for you, Ball Hospital, y'all got to step this up, because this other has already offered me a job and I need to make money. So, but I didn't really want to work there because the hospital at that time was going through a lot of flux. And so they were doing things like, and this is something that happens in nursing a lot, laying off the seasoned nurses and hiring on new grads. So the seasoned nurses didn't want to teach us anything. And the manager of that unit she was an hour late for the appointment. She rushed through it, didn't really ask me any questions, just sort of haphazardly, offered me the job because she didn't really interview me at all. And I just didn't have a good feel for that, but I knew I was broke, so I had to have a job.
Right, girl. When they offered me my first pay, I was like, "Oh my God, I'm rich!" Not knowing, I was like, "Oh Lord, mercy."
Well, having worked as a CNA, I went from making $8 an hour to 18. I thought I was making big time money then. Yeah.
Right. When I was a secretary, I started at $9.83. Then when I left, I think I was making like $10.28. To make almost double that, I was jumping in the living room, like I done made it. But how life is, you're like, oh Jesus.
Fortunately, psychiatry came through, and that's all history. Which, by the way, those of you who want to hear my story, and I'll try to remember to put the link up there, but you can go back to our very first podcast episode where I share my entrepreneurial journey and my journey as a nurse. But let's get back to you, because I wanted to know, when did you transition from wanting to have a 9-to-5, as we say, to working for someone else?
Oh my God, I remember it just like it was yesterday. I had started working at Ivy Tech, and I had started working under the health sciences program. So I was working there. So then I guess someone resigned, and my boss at the time reached out to me and was like, "Hey, are you interested in teaching the CNA class?" And I thought, me, sure, I'll try it. So I absolutely loved it. So I can remember being on the floor with my students, and it was amazing. And I thought, and then that's when God gave me the vision. And I was like, doing the clinicals and all that. And I was like, shoot, I can do this myself. And this was in, 2016. So that's when I really felt the need to really, do it. So then I really didn't think about it. And then I had a few corporate America jobs, and it just wasn't, working out then. Yeah. So I had went to a CNA seminar thing with Victoria Randall. Well, it popped up on Facebook, and I told my cousin, I was like, I'm thinking about going to this. And I was like, I don't know, because you know how I am. I can be kind of, and Brittany's like, girl, you better go. So I went, and then I knew then, I was like, okay, like, this is what I need to be doing. So that's when I knew that was the door I needed to walk into.
Everybody's journey is different, but there's this incident or event that just kind of hits that spark in you, and you decide, you know what, I'm going to go for it. And I applaud you for that. And so where are you now? What's happening with your business now? And tell us about your business.
Okay, so actually, when I went to the seminar, it was a CPR trainer instructor there, and the Victoria Window was like, well, if you want to make an extra side hustle, for your business, or where your students can already be CPR certified, you can do this. And I thought, Yeah, I don't really want to be a CPR instructor, in all honesty. So the pandemic, had happened, whatever. And then in like August of that year of 2020, or maybe it was July, one of those months, the owner from my friend here who owns her school, she called me. She was like, and her name's Victoria. She was like, Miss Victoria's coming back because she lives in Maryland. She's coming back to train for CPR. You really need to hop on it. So I did it then. So that's how I launched the CPR business. And then people started hitting me up to, train them. Like I was doing it at my daughter's school and everything. So that's how that part launched. So that's been pretty cool too. And the CLS part, that just kind of happened too by accident, because the job that I work for sent me, paid for me to go. So, and I enjoyed it because I've always enjoyed mother baby aspect stuff too. Because I actually wanted to be a labor and delivery nurse, but I never got into it. So that's been a blessing as well. So it's been an amazing journey.
That just made me think of one thing that you could add to your list of things is you might consider being a birth doula. That is something that a lot of people are adding to their list of stuff to do. And I'm going to take off my coaching hat there. But I just thought, with what you're adding with the lactation specialist, you might consider adding that doula component. If you wanted to get into labor and delivery, this is a way you can do that to support the mom without having to do all the extra stuff.
Oh my goodness, Tina, you are amazing. This is so cool. There's so much stuff you can do, like, oh wow.
And that's the beauty of nursing, is it not? That there's so many different paths that you can take. I've had a few guests here, and it's very interesting on how each nurse has found her way into what her passion is. It's amazing to see that. And, most of us started out med surg or, bedside nursing, but we've moved on and grown and doing some things. And some of us still kind of do a little bit of bedside nursing. I've had a couple nurses that, work 1 or 2 days a week, and they'll continue doing their bedside nursing. But, this is really a wonderful thing that we can do so much in nursing. Yeah,
I know. And I enjoy doing the CNA program. I enjoy that because I feel like at that stage, we can instill so much in them. Like blessing to the CNAs. If you want to stop there, cool. But I feel like you can just instill so much, in them. Like it opens up so many doors,
It's that entryway into the healthcare field.
Yeah.
And what I like about the CNA training is that you get enough to know if you're going to like nursing and enough to know if you're not. If you're going to faint at the sight of blood, you're going to figure that out in your CNA program.
Right. And it's so funny because I didn't know if I actually wanted to be a nurse because I used to be scared of needles. And I was like, oh, I don't know. But I worked past that fear, and did it.
Yes. I had a client that I was talking to, and she wanted to be a veterinary tech. And she said she was doing really well, loved it until in her training they were drawing blood from a cat, and then she passed out. So now she just kind of, rescues animals.
That'll work. Gotta show you on it.
Yes. So there's that's what's great, is that we can be entrepreneurs, we can be business owners, we can take our skills that we have as nurses and use those in another way. And so my philosophy is always leave your job, but don't leave the profession, right? So we all know once a nurse, always a nurse. We're like, as I said in the last episode with someone, we're like the mafia. We don't let you out.
Right. Even at church, it's so funny because at church, when I go to church, I don't want to be a nurse, but it just follows you,
it follows.
Brian said, I didn't even want the nurse plate. Lord forgive me, because I just didn't want nobody knows in my business. But I'm gonna go ahead and get that when I get my new car now. But yeah, Brittany has one. I said I guess, and my aunt. I said I guess I get one too.
I for the longest time I wouldn't talk about being in psychiatry. I would not talk about that because inevitably when someone finds out that you're a psychiatric nurse, they sit down and start telling you their problems.
My aunt, Ryan's aunt, my aunt, Sybil, she's getting ready to graduate with her pediatric mental health nurse stuff, practitioner. She's amazing at it. Amazing. I know she's going to go far doing that too. The psych stuff. Kudos to you guys in that field. That's a true calling.
You know what? It's like this. This is what I discovered. Everybody has their niche. Like my midwife friends, I'm like, you guys are awesome. I could never be a midwife. I know I do not have the patience for that.
Yeah.
If you call me at 2:00 in the morning and wake me up, you better be having a baby. There's no Braxton Hicks with me. You've been interrupted my sleep. Yeah, I'm not good with that.
Yeah.
All right. So what are your goals for 2023?
Oh, it's so funny that you asked me that. You know, my grandmother passed. I lost my grandma unexpectedly last February. So after that, it was a lot. And so I kind of stepped away, in all honesty, and I just needed a break. And I honestly, I don't know where I should say this or not. I don't know what goals I have for 2023. I really need to sit down and think about it and focus. And you know me, I've always been a planner. But then when it happened with my grandma, I'm just like, whatever's going to happen is really going to happen. So I don't have any plans. I enjoy what I do. I try to enjoy it. Well, I've always enjoyed my family, but now I really, really enjoy it to be content. A few opportunities have opened up. So we'll just see how it goes.
Okay.
That's what I got for you.
Well, I would say, first of all, my condolences on the death of your grandmother, because, you know, I've been in the same boat recently. So, but shameless plug, we do have a strategic planning workshop coming up next Saturday. Should you like to attend?
Oh, Lord. Send me the information.
Yeah, because
bless your heart. Oh my God, you're amazing.
This is something that, you know, I do for my business. Is I set my goals, but I do it for my personal life too. I set my goals and intentions, and so I think that kind of helps us to navigate where we're going. So when the opportunities are there, we're ready for them.
Yeah,
and we're in the right mind space for that. So yeah, so if you want to join us for that,
I didn't even know nothing about it, Miss Tina.
I will put that in the show notes as well. Actually, your episode might go up afterwards, but I will. It's on our Facebook page and on our new website. So yeah. But let's talk about getting you ready for 2023, because I think that's important. And I think that will help you in the long run to not stress about it, because you already have had that, you know, thinking and kind of thinking forward. So with that, as an entrepreneur, what is the biggest challenge you face as an entrepreneur?
I would have to say doubt at times. In all honesty, I know I can do it, but sometimes I don't know. Like, and then with grandma, with that happening, it's just kind of been a lot. So, you know, I'm always a go-getter. I've always been a planner, you know, but I would say that's the biggest challenge. I used to say it was money, but now I really don't think it's money anymore. Because you can as a nurse, you can always make some money. So I would say that's the biggest challenge for me now. So I guess it's shifted.
That self-doubt.
Yeah. And you would think, I guess, with me being all the support I've had over the years, I don't know, I guess it's just me. I don't know.
Can I just say that you're not the only one that's in that boat? We all have these moments of what we call that self-doubt or that imposter syndrome that comes in. And there are certainly ways for us to work through it. And my philosophy is that nurses are heroes. We are the heroes of our own epic journey. And I'm just going to say, wear your cape, girl, wear your cape. And wear
Thanks,
it well.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much. Oh, wow.
So lastly, if you had to give one piece of advice to a new entrepreneur or budding entrepreneur, what would it be?
The advice I would have would be to stay true to yourself. Remember, like someone told me, remember your why and just follow your passion. You'll know if it's right or wrong. There are a lot of people who could just say a whole bunch of stuff. Don't worry about that. Keep being you. Push forward. Remain true to yourself, and people will know if you're passionate about it or not, because it will show in your attitude and your work. Don't forget about those people who've helped you along the way. Your supporters, your clientele. Always say thank you. Be kind. Be respectful. Even when I go and do clinicals, I thank my students all the time. If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be where we are. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just always myself. So that's the advice I would give.
Being unapologetically you.
Yes, absolutely. In a professional way. But sometimes, you can do you, but be true to your heart. Mm-hmm. Stay true to your heart, and God will bless you. And then knowing what to say yes to and what to say no to, because people come to you with all kinds of stuff. I done turned down a few 6-figure gigs. Even my husband looked like, I can't believe you did that. Sometimes I say, I can't believe I did that neither. But you can have a whole bunch of money and be unhappy. Look at Michael Jackson. Sure, he couldn't even get no sleep.
It's true. Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So, yep. That's what I would say.
Find your passion, find your path, and stick to it, and go forward. All right. Well, I want to thank you for coming on the show, and thank you for your time. It was a pleasure having you, as always.
Thank you, Miss Tina. Pleasure being in your presence.
Thank you. And this is the Nurse Shark Academy. You can find us on Podbean and Spotify and other places where you get your podcasts. We thank you for listening, and we hope to see you again. Goodbye.
Wait, don't go. There's a very important announcement from the Nurse Shark Academy. Look for the information at the nursesharkacademy.biz. Hi, this is Tina Baxter, and thank you for listening to our podcast and watching our video on YouTube. I want to thank you for joining us today, but before you go, please don't forget that we have the Nurse Shark Academy Freedom Finance Workshop coming up on March the 29th. 2023 from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to bust the myths of having no time, no money, and no idea where to start to launch your own business as a nurse. So join us for the Nurse Shark Academy Freedom Finance Workshop on March 29th from 3 to 5. And please, before you go, please like, subscribe, and share our videos and our podcast content. Thank you.